everyone, my name is Clentus and welcome to my YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Can I ask you a question? So in court, we keep hearing about accused number 1, accused number 2, accused number 3, and accused number 5. Has any of you asked yourselves, then what is accused number 4 doing in the dock? Because I have not heard anybody mentioning him. It is like a black hole, like a black sheep or something like that, because everybody's getting attention but him. So what is the role that he played in this conspiracy that now I think the police had cooked up against the 5 people that sit in the dock accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa? So I'm kind of like wondering, because I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, wait a minute, I keep hearing about accused number 1, 2, number 5, but except for accused number 4. So it must be very confusing for him, thinking that, okay, everybody's getting attention but me, then what am I doing here? Because that's a question I would be asking. Maybe I would have even risen on a point of question the court, like, sorry, everybody's been mentioned by me. What's going on? Okay, of course, he can only do that through his lawyer. But I'm also wondering why his lawyer isn't saying anything about his presence in the dock, because seemingly there is no any kind of communication or linkage that is going on about him and his co-accused, about him and Kelly Khumalo, about him and Zandile Khumalo, about him and the crime scene where Senzo Meyiwa was murdered, between him and any other phone numbers that Colonel Steyn has been talking about on the stand. So the other interesting thing that I'm also seeing in the comment sections of other people is this circumstantial evidence. Suddenly it kind of like died down, or maybe it died altogether, because, and the people that I've been having lock-ons with, they also disappeared. People were like, well, now you need to shut up, this is circumstantial evidence. And I'm thinking, no, our law is substantive, it's not circumstantial. Yes, there may be indirect evidence through circumstantial evidence, but it is not easy to be admitted in the South African criminal court. It really needs to carry weight in order for it to be admitted by the court as evidence. But when you just throw it around like that, and then you can't answer or justify it when you are cross-examined by the defense like Colonel Steyn did, then that is no longer indirect evidence that can be admitted into evidence. There is no way. That is ground for appeal, and that is ground for the Supreme Court of Appeal or the Constitutional Court to be scathing on the lower court's ruling on the basis of circumstantial evidence. So I'm like, where are y'all circumstantial evidence people? Let's talk about this, because we heard on the stand when Steyn was there yesterday, when he said no, he cannot prove the substance of the conversations between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5, and his co-accused. There's no substance. So if there's no substance, then why are we even discussing this? That means all these phone records I've been saying since the time they came to the fore, that to me, when I'm looking at them, they are useless. Yes, they might say it links so and so, but what's the evidence? What conversations can you say that link between accused number 5 and accused number 1 was a discussion of murder, or discussion of killing Senzo Meyiwa, or a discussion to go and play soccer together? That is what I'm looking for. Just because cell phone numbers are linking people with each other, is that a crime? Of course it's not a crime. They've committed no crime until the phone records are saying this was the discussion, this was the conspiracy theory that they were discussing, or this is conspiracy they were discussing to kill Senzo Meyiwa. So, yes, circumstantial people, please come forward. Let's talk about this. Let's iron it out. Don't run away, because now everybody seems to have gone under the rock, because now they have egg on their face when it comes to circumstantial evidence. Probably next time you really need to look something deeper inside and say, okay, this sounds circumstantial to me, but what's the fact? You see, ask yourself that question. Don't just hear something on the surface of it, but you do not go down the rabbit hole and ask some few questions like, yeah, but I hear you. how can you justify this with facts? Okay, maybe the fact does not exist, but how do you persuade a court to accept this circumstantial evidence into the records? But anyways, I also woke up this morning and I was reading some newspapers and I came across a drum article that was talking about Kelly Khumalo losing a gig. And I think I have this. I hope I do. Yeah, it says Women's Month Festival drops Kelly Khumalo from lineup. So the article just goes, as the trial in the murder case of Senzo Meyiwa enters its third week, bombs continue to drop around. And one of the names being mentioned again and again is singer Kelly Khumalo. Now she's losing out on gigs. An annual festival that aims to pay tribute to women every August has released a statement dropping the songstress following concerns raised by the festival goers in comments on various social media platforms. Although they stated that we respect the legal process and wish to indicate that Ms. Kelly Khumalo is innocent until proven otherwise, they also add that they can't turn a blind eye to the concerns. However, the interest of safeguarding our festival, management has taken the decision to relieve Ms. Khumalo of her obligations to perform at our festival this year to afford her and her team the time they require to deal with the issues emanating from the current court proceedings. The statement further reads, ever since Judge Rata Mokgotleng took over the presiding seat in the matter, many have commended the progress of the case. Last Thursday, on the 27th of July, Colonel Stein testified that two cell phone records showed that one of Kelly Khumalo's cell phone numbers was linked to accused number 5 in the matter, Fisoguhle Ntuli. One of the calls was made 11 days before Senzo Meyiwa's death, while the other was made just over 2 months before. So basically, Kelly Khumalo is starting to lose out on some gigs because of the trial. I'm still thinking that, but then why was she getting these gigs to begin with? Yes, she's innocent until proven guilty, but still, you cannot tell me as an event organizer, you are just going to turn a blind eye and not see the dark cloud that is hanging over Kelly Khumalo and then you hire her for an event. That says a lot about you and your own morality when it comes to a death that is not solved. And somebody can answer the question as to what happened to that individual that lost their life on that particular day, and then you still hire them for a gig. That is just not right. That is just my opinion. I'm not saying that if you don't have a conscience and you are an event organizer, hey, do you. But we are judging. So I think this as well might force Kelly Khumalo, when she realizes that she is losing out on earnings or income, she might end up basically just throwing in the towel and end up telling the nation what exactly happened to Senzo Meyiwa on the 26th of October 2014. Because this question is not difficult to answer. All you say is that, listen, guys, on this particular day, this what had happened and this what had happened, and it was an accident. If it was an accident, if it was intentional, confess that I wanted him dead, because now you tell us the excuse. Some people are saying now that things are starting to come to the fore, she might take the route of accusing Senzo Meyiwa of being scop and donoring her, and so she needed to end it all by taking a gun and shooting him. I don't know if she's going to say that, and she would have to seriously justify exactly why she continued a relationship with a man that was scop and donoring her. That is for her to take the stand and testify to that effect, if indeed that happened. But I don't think that what happened. I still think it was an accident that had happened, and I still think the person that shot Senzo Meyiwa is the person that ran through the kitchen door and never came back, and next thing he has his father and mother at the crime scene and at the hospital. For what good reason? Oh, another thing that I also heard from some people about Chico Twala's Radio 702 interview around 2018 or so. Apparently he said that he did go to the Khumalo house and then he saw Senzo Meyiwa lying on the kitchen floor, meaning he was already dead. And then I remember Zandile Khumalo, when she was testifying in her evidence in chief, that as they were driving to the hospital, Senzo Meyiwa started feeling cold from the stomach. In my head, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I thought a human being started getting cold from the head because the brain dies first before the heart goes. So I think what you call the pineary gland, some people call it the pituitary gland, that's the most important gland in our brain that actually keeps us alive. When it dies, that's when we die. And so, of course, the head is the one that is going to get cold first. Please do correct me if you are a medical doctor, or if you know anything about anatomy. Please, I may be wrong, but I think in biology, that's what I learned, that you get cold from the head first before you start getting cold with the rest of your body after death. So anyways, guys, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I am rushing so that I can start watching the proceedings of today before I also had to head out to a meeting. I think I'm just going to hear a bit of it, and then I'm just going to listen to the rest of it later on when I knock off from work, and then we'll discuss it in the evening video. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the bell notification so you get notified every time I upload a new video. My super thanks are turned on. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking me. Highly appreciate that, you guys. And also do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about Kelly Khumalo starting to lose some gigs. And also share this video far and wide. I'll highly appreciate that too. And I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.